call to order at 5:29. We're early. Nice. All right. Welcome everybody to our November meeting. So we'll call to order. Do a roll call first. Mark Layton, the chair of the committee.
Don Bristleton, a member.
Julie Gilman, select board rep.
Tim Willis, alternate.
Alan Mangan, vice chair.
Rob Corson, member.
To tell me to be at the meeting.
Don, want to introduce our guest for tonight?
Sure. Julie Lanter, the executive director of the library, and Julie's here. She's wanted to be, but being probably a day participant in the library, Julie came up one day and said, "Don, you're on the facilities advisory committee." And I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, I've got some things to share, and I'd like to get on the schedule to do that." And so I think Julie has two items. One is the future plans for the library, and also some of the difficulties.
Hey, Dick.
Some of the difficulties that the library is experiencing from the past renovation. So, Julie.
Great.
So my first one is the fun one. The library has undergone a 5-year plan, so we formed a long-range planning committee, and the committee has commissioned me to visit you and ask that you consider for your upcoming year schedule a visit to our site and any for recommendations that we could add to the long-range plan. It would be a 5-year long-range plan. So that's an official invitation from the library's long-range plan committee for the upcoming year. We're hoping to have a final report by December 2026 is the goal. So we'll be doing community surveys all throughout 2026. We're in development actually of the survey right now. And we'll have some community listening sessions throughout 2026 as well. But we did want to make sure you folks, it's been a while since you've seen the site since the renovation. 5 years, because this feels like a blink, doesn't it? So I just wanted to make sure this doesn't it feel like?
I think when we first formed as a committee, we got a tour. It was under construction, right? Is that when we first?
Are you asking me that? I have
Yeah,
no
I
idea.
don't know. I'm so
Yeah, it was.
So you can't remember. It's been on the committee too long.
So it'll be your 5th year anniversary for your committee.
Yep.
We'll have to make a day of it. We'll have cake.
Well, not to date myself, but I was on the committee for the original.
Oh, for 87?
Library, yes.
Oh, wonderful. So that's the fun one. So hopefully you can look at your schedule and maybe let us know if there's time next year. I know you guys are a very busy committee, so that's why I wanted to come in as soon as we knew that we would love to have you come.
Yeah, definitely.
But not to give things away for the future, but could you tell us a little bit of what you might be thinking in that long range?
Well, for long range, future uses, maybe there's places that you see that we could be maximizing facility use. I think that we've done a really good job reducing the amount of staff area to make it as large for the community. But things like, I feel like I actually have to go into the second half to explain a little bit more. I was made director in March, and it has come to my attention that the HVAC system was never signed off from the prior director. The reason being we've had ongoing issues with the HVAC system. And my understanding is that has not been communicated outside of the library, which is why I wanted to come to your committee to let you know that the library has been pursuing this matter since I've become director. We have hired Resilience, which is it starts with a C, the commissioning agent. They've retested the library. I do not have the final report from them. That testing took place September into October, but I was told by the person who's preparing the report that the same issues that were in the original HVAC from 2022, that was supposed to be a punch list that they did, the same issues are on our list. So they were never fixed by Train, which was the company hired to create the system. So I just wanted this committee to be aware that that is going on and has been an ongoing issue. It's something that I, as director, am going to put on the top burner of our priority. Heating is important. But I think that it's come to light that There are parts of the building that are from '87 that are also starting to fail. We had a leak in our elevator. It was repaired, they put more fluid in, and they said that for now it's working, but we have
The
parts.
hydraulics.
The hydraulics, yep. So, and we have other parts of the HVAC system that are original to '87 that are beginning to fail as well. We always have to, every season when we turn on the heaters, we have, to me, that it looks like algae come out of the system, so we have to have a clean out, every time. So things that you guys, being this facility, will know exactly what we should be doing to prepare for the future, and especially for budgetary purposes, think that might be something that would be very helpul.
Who's
to
spearheading
staff.
that for you guys?
Right now, it's the chair of the trustees, who is Jenny Medlock. We currently do not have like a systems facilitator on site. We usually call DPW and work through that department when there are any issues and get vendor recommendations from that department.
But do you guys take care of your own maintenance as far as?
Yes.
You hire people to do the
Yes.
startups and
Yes.
shutdowns and stuff like
Correct.
that? Okay.
That's all through the library, because there's part of RSA 202-A, public libraries have to be separate from the town.
Oh, okay.
So it's a quirky little law, so the
Yeah.
town owns the land, but the trustees are responsible for the actual building.
Oh, okay.
So we try to work, I think we've gotten some really good headway this year, really making sure that we're collaborating as much as we can with the town
Right.
to reduce costs whenever we can. So, and all our vendors historically have been vetted by DPW and the town. We always ask through them first. But I just wanted this committee to be aware that that's what's going on in the facility since I've taken over. And I didn't want, I'm for no surprises. I'm a librarian. I want everything to be in their place and everyone to see where we're going.
And quiet.
And quiet and orderly. The last weekend we had, a bird came through we have those two lovely new deck areas. There was a nest in the corner, and they finally pecked their way through the exterior into the building, so we had a bird about that size. Took the Exeter police and our staff about an hour and a half to get it.
Did it have a library card?
If it did, I'm gonna look into restricting that. Yeah. So manners, but we've had our share of kind of quirky issues. We do have a seal for our boiler that is starting to go, so I'm getting a quote for that. I'm assuming that's going to be in the 3,000 to 5,000 zone, what my research has done. Again, I can do research, I can look up, but that's where my expertise ends. So I think in terms of, to round this back to your initial question, Dawn, this is where I need your help. You are the experts in buildings. I am the expert in libraries. So for this long-range plan, having maybe a punch list, looking at our facilities and the systems of what may need replacing or what we would need to think of for the next 5 years out, I think would be good for the taxpayers to know, have that clearly put in the report. So again, there's no surprises. That's what I want.
Well,
for
you
this.
may not be aware, possibly are, but one of the things that we're working on here right now is use of the town facilities. And we're moving down to how we should organize that and get the necessary professional help. And so we have a series of lists of buildings, and now this could be a very good one, is to bring the library on board as one of those in terms of.
Yeah, I mean, it would be good for us to probably get an understanding of what that relationship is, because I know the town is a responsibility and the library is a responsibility, and where do they overlap, and what's the separation, or what's the things that divides, and what's the things that brings them together, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unusual in that the library trustees control all spending, but the library budget actually goes into the town's budget, and the voters vote on it as a whole, not as a separate thing. The budget, another piece of this is that the Budget Recommendation Committee last night agreed to recommend to the select board and the voters ultimately to start a building maintenance fund, and $25,000 a year, if the voters pass the budget, would go into that fund starting in '26. So
Just
What
for the
the library?
library, right?
it's
That's a-
just
Just
for
building
just
it.
for maintaining the
We'll probably
library
need that.
building.
Yeah.
Because we judge 10 years out with HVAC, fixed assets, when we go to the budget, that's the way I do it. But it'll be all 10-year plan for like any of those condensers around that you're using out. Which are pretty
And that's the
expensive.
kind of thing we need, like a plan, like a little, a way forward here.
Well,
And again,
in-
to make it clear to the town as well.
The question would be, could this be added to the asset tracking piece of it, to which we, DPW keeps asset tracking of all the other facilities, and it would be, could this be added, and could those things be on that plan, so you really do have a way of saying, by the way, the boiler seal and all the other things are,
You talk about the.
you're not sitting down with a spreadsheet, trying to track them, but that could go in an overall,
But it is a little
Townwide.
different than the town
Yeah.
thing in that the trustees are making all the calls. The library trustees make the calls. So
Knowing-
there's no command and control
Yeah.
from the town
The
here.
one
Yeah.
item that we have in the budget for the library is just for their programming, not for building maintenance or anything else.
right.
So what would probably be required, what will be required is that the trustees would make a vote to, have that be added. And then we'd go to the select board to see if they would approve that. That would be my assumption
What's
of the
this?
process. So first, you were mentioning about the.
So there's a
what was it?
database,
The
basically the database that really is a facilities database that.
You talk about the condition assessment.
Yeah,
end of it.
exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
so.
Did that include the library?
It didn't.
No.
Oh, okay.
So, so that was,
Wasn't aware of that.
one of the things that over time, the intent is that other facilities would be added to that. So like the Parks and Rec building would be added to that and things like that. As they come online, you would actually sit there and say it was put in service in 2025. This was the condition of the building at that point, and then you would start your planning, your 5-year, 10-year plan.
10 years
just like-
depreciation done
Yeah.
as you
So
go
it's
through it.
really integrating the facility into
Yeah.
all the other facilities that we are in the process of evaluating, yeah.
But
So-
it would help you with your 5 or 10-year plan on
Yeah,
the facility
Exactly.
side.
And
So-
also just, again, I'm trying to kind of, it's tough because of that RSA, but trying to get the library and the town to work alongside each other, because we kind of have to be parallel
Mhm.
because of that RSA, but as close to together as we can be. Which is why, like, I could certainly go back to the trustees and say, would you like to make a motion to, recommend that we ask the select board to add us to the conditional assessment database, and then we could write a letter to the select board and have them either, vote on it.
Yeah.
So we could do that way.
Yeah,
There's
it
a way around to do this with the RSA, and I just feel what's happened in the past is the library basically stood alone and managed everything kind of independently. And I would like to, for transparency's sake, kind of make sure that we're as close, again, to the town as we can in terms of reporting and using the same, like you said, spreadsheets and systems. And quite frankly, that's something I would like to see as a director on the long-range plan, to have that be, that probably won't be a year's, worth, but maybe a 5 years endpoint goal for us in this committee.
Yep.
To work together to get that
But
happen.
I think you mentioned, and one of the things we could do is come and visit.
Yes,
and-
absolutely.
And other than users of the library, but just come and visit, really find out
Mhm.
the inner workings and how it is behaving for you.
Yeah.
And I love giving a library tour. I'm a talker, do a half an hour in your agendas, but I'm happy to give you either as a group or if you want to come individually.
But if you have to spend money on replacing the boiler or HVAC system, it still goes through the same CIP process that all the other
Correct.
projects do, right?
Yes.
And it's voted on by the town.
They also have other opportunities of fundraising as well, because they're an independent organization. So this would be an opportunity for them to put together a plan so they could reach out to, people who would want to donate to the library, specifically to, whatever it happened to be.
Yeah.
So that would be one of the
But
other
if-
things that,
But does it still have to go through the CIP process even though it's fundraised for?
nope. You guys can raise your own money. You can get your
We
own.
can, yes,
Okay.
yes. But we have gone through the select board, for example, I was at the CIP meeting just last night for that warrant article, so.
Okay.
For the initial
For the initial,
25,000,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
for that building
Okay.
and.
But if
that's fine.
if you found a grant or something for $250,000, that you wouldn't have to go through this process, you could just
Yeah,
spend it your own, the trustees.
trustees would have to approve it, and then, yes, it would go
Yeah,
forward
and you
that
could
way.
do
So
your own.
they're the oversight, they're kind of the equivalency to the select board for the town, is the
Right.
trustees for the library.
Okay,
It's very complicated.
yeah. Just for the meeting notes here, so the 5-year plan, did you call it a strategic plan, or was
A
it?
long-range plan.
Long range.
And it's, the long-range planning committee is who asked me to come and speak with you regarding that plan.
And that's a December of 26 deadline.
Yes, we're hoping to have their final report then. But again, we can make it a goal on there.
Yeah.
And you have vendors in place that, like, for obviously your HVAC and your elevators and
Yes,
stuff, right? Everyone's in
Dowling
place.
is our
Oh,
HVAC
Dowling.
company, yeah, so, and we've been very pleased with them.
Yep.
I think it's over 30 years that
Yep.
we've had with them, a very long time.
So they have all the
were
reports of what's going on
Yes.
and what they've done
Mhm.
and refrigerant and everything else, right? All the
Absolutely,
whole,
yes.
every unit in that,
Yeah.
every unit that they use.
Yeah, and I've also reached out to SNP, who was our architects, and
Yeah.
they're aware of the issue. And as soon as the report is made, we do intend to have a meeting with them, with Resilient there as well. Train, I will be very candid, has not responded to Dowling's, to SNP, or to Resilience emails, multiple.
Have they responded to the contractor that hired them and did the work?
Yeah.
That was Bowen.
Yeah.
I have asked SNP to be the liaison for Bowen since they were the ones who,
Yeah,
so
right.
that's how that
Yeah.
is.
Train will just, they're too big, they're not
Yeah.
gonna do anything.
Mitsubishi got eaten up by them, I know, yeah. I know more about HVAC systems than I ever thought I would.
Yes, and when you talk about controls, the reality is that that's well beyond your, most people's, I think, almost everybody's.
Now, it's all.
Which
Yes.
is why I want to
Yeah.
see you guys,
Oh,
because
yeah.
a librarian knows when to go to the right resources,
Mhm.
and I feel
There you
this
go.
committee is the right resource to go to.
So you have two, like you said, there was two parts. The first part's the strategic or long-range plan.
Yep.
And then now the second one is that there's concerns with the building.
Yes, I would just say, call it, if, for the sake of the minutes, building updates since the renovation.
Do you have that, you handed out a sheet at the BRC meeting?
I can absolutely share that. I have a breakdown from all the vendors. I've gotten quotes for what they think it will cost when things break. Because obviously you know what things are going
That would be
as
good to share
vendors.
with these folks.
Yeah, I'm happy to share that to you. I can send
Yeah,
that.
that'd
I
be
didn't want to
great.
scare you too much
Yeah.
right away.
With numbers.
But-
I love numbers.
Okay.
Just so we understand the issues, so you have the original building from '87 that was not touched when the renovation happened, right? You said there were
Correct.
some things that you,
Yeah,
that
and
from
this
that.
mostly is that list that I shared last night,
Okay.
to kind of illustrate why the building and maintenance fund was required.
Okay, and then the HVAC system that was installed in 2022,
Mhm.
there's lingering concerns, issues with
Correct.
that.
And I have that initial punch list, and as soon as I get that report, we can compare the two, and I'm happy to share that with the
Yeah, that would be
committee as
great.
well.
Yeah, so, okay, just want to make sure there's,
Do they have controller over there in delivery? Is there a
Building
contractor
controls.
controlling it?
There's no, this is why I was saying, really, this really should be going through the contractor, but that's why I was asking who is coordinating this, because the reality is that they have an obligation, they pay them, they've been paid, and that this is really a workmanship or a potential issue where the work was not performed in accordance to the either standard of care or whatever it happens to be, so there's an obligation for the contractor to do some of this work versus you doing it,
Yeah.
and that's, but we all know this.
The optimist in me would love to see some recoup of the money we've had to pay Dowling through the years, but that's the optimist in me. But, you know,
or even we could have legal action if it's that
to be
point.
candid, I think that it will be going towards that,
Yeah.
given Train's lack of any communication with us through the years. Hope, good, you know, when I became
Yeah.
director, this was one of the things she gave to me. She said, I have not had any success with moving this at all.
So, but to Rob's point though, there was a contract with a general contractor that you had.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Bowen,
Was it,
yeah.
wasn't design build, was it? You had a, who was the contractor?
Bowen was our general contractor.
And this
Okay.
goes back to 87?
No,
No.
to-
No, this is the new,
To the
this is the
refit.
refit 2022.
your legal action is gonna be with that contractor,
Yeah.
not with Train, because you don't have a contract with Train, right? So,
Yeah.
so you would, you probably want to, whoever is doing it, is to find that contract, and that list that you have, the punch list, is really their punch list,
Yeah.
that they didn't
Follow
force
through
Train
on,
to
yeah.
go, to do something.
Is there a timeframe that this has to happen within?
Well, you're gonna have to show that it's been lingering since 2022, and how severe those issues are.
And we've already sent those proofs to both Resilient and SMP, and they're taking them quite seriously, so.
SMP is the architect.
Is the architect, and they're the ones dealing with Bowen through them.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
So-
Has the contractor been put on notice by us, or?
We haven't had the meeting where that's going to be discussed. So I'm waiting for, because we want that second report. So I will let you guys know when that meeting is scheduled to happen as well,
Yeah.
absolutely.
This may be something, I'm just speaking out of turn, but this may be something where there's a lot of expertise here that could be helpful probably to you on a discussion like that. Just because
This would not be your first rodeo on that type of.
No, I don't think any of us, I mean, this is it, the reality is, this is the stuff that happens all the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, things never getting completed, payments being made 100% paid, but nobody holding back money to make sure they're complete. There's really no clerk of the works to make sure that the punch list truly ever got done. So there's just, you know, it's a very typical
The
scenario.
town is learning some lessons about that.
Yeah.
Because I think my
Yes.
question when we talked about this the last meeting that I was here was who is responsible for the project, the sign off for the town, from the town for a project like that? Is there a project person that will literally go to the contractor and follow up with every single, like a representative of the town? I think I've asked this question before.
Let me jump in.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I like about Julia's approach, since she's come on board as director in March, is that she's trying to be more collegial and collaborative
Yeah.
with the resources that are available. The previous director had many strengths, but maybe that wasn't one of hers. So the fact that Julia is here tonight, seeking the expertise of this committee, that to me is a great sign.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's going to move things that have maybe lagged forward. I think ultimately it's going to save the citizens of this town money.
That is the hope.
And I think the trustees of the library, although they are independent, they should also get some credit for hiring Julia and supporting her and reaching out to the resources that are available. So a little bit different approach starting in March, and I'm delighted. Is that putting too fine
I
a point on
didn't think
it?
delighted with this HVAC issue. That's the word used, but
I'm
thank you.
delighted that you're seeking to take advantage of the expertise
Mm-hmm.
and not just look for funding.
So I think the answer to your question ultimately is the director.
And that's what I was saying.
And
And the
like,
board
I
of
will say
trustees.
that, I do know the original, because I've seen the original contracts for the library, because went through the files. I do know that Rustine and Hope had to sign off, so
Yeah.
that was, so I believe there was some because obviously the land is the town's.
Of course, the town, yeah, and then you.
So there was a
I'm always
co-signing
interested in,
it,
when
yeah.
there's a project going on and the contractor's gonna come, you have to, there's a
Yeah.
trust issue, but you also have to,
Yeah,
like, who's Johnny on the spot?
Exactly.
If I remember right, there wasn't a clerk in the works, there wasn't an owner's representative
That's it,
there.
that's it.
It was mostly Hope,
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah.
because I was on
Yeah.
Yeah.
the facilities committee, which then dissolved,
Okay.
and
Okay.
Hope took it over.
All right.
Yeah.
So again, a much more collaborative and consultative
That's
approach
Yeah.
moving forward.
But I'd like to put a positive, it's been a great meeting,
Yeah.
a positive capstone on it. For those who are listening, yes, there
Yes,
are
please.
problems,
Yeah.
we're illuminating those, gonna take care of them. But we have a marvelous functional library.
Yeah.
We do.
It's
It
doing-
is,
yeah.
yes,
it's
and
doing
the
this
people
town
love it.
Wonderful
Yeah.
service.
Yep.
So I don't want somebody back there thinking,
And,
No.
and
It's
when
always
people
falling
hear
apart.
That's a great point, Don.
HVAC, we currently have heat, so if you're cold at home, come to the
There you
library.
go.
We are a warming station and a cooling station in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
please
there
visit
you
the
go.
library, and that's why I'm taking this seriously.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
library is a refuge for
That's right.
those who cannot, who need that extra help. We're
Yep.
here for you guys,
Yep.
and that's
That's
why
right.
we're taking this very seriously.
Well,
Sorry, I'm
okay.
staring, I'm looking at
Stare at
this
the
camera.
cameras.
I'm staring at the wrong camera, Kevin, but you get the gist.
I didn't even think of that part, yeah, it's very important.
it's a great library.
Yeah, I mean, that is important though, as far as that will help in prioritizing any of these projects that are coming up, right? I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, we're, compared to other town departments,
Yeah.
we're open longer, we're 54 hours. Hoping, and we want to, that's a goal long-term, is people want us to be open even more,
Yeah.
because they use us that much.
That's great.
So,
All right,
thank
so-
you all for listening, I appreciate it.
So we would, I think as a committee would love to take a look at the
Wonderful.
commissioning report that you get. Anything that you think we can help with?
Yeah.
Um,
I'll CC you and all those,
I
and
mean, we
any
could-
meetings, I'll let you know as soon as I know a meeting.
Yep.
I assume.
Yeah, just come to me, I
Sarah,
mean,
yeah.
we can, I can put up, so we have a lot of expertise, but I think anything you want us to help with, I mean, that's what we're here for as an advisory committee, is to try to help with guidance or whatever expertise that we can provide, so,
And
If
we-
it would be helpful, because I'm in that library almost every day,
yeah,
if there would be, that I could be a liaison
yeah.
between Julia and this board or anybody else, I'd be glad to do that.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah, so if you want to use, share with Dawn, then Dawn can
Yeah.
share
Don
with
and
us.
I are old Rotarian friends, so.
The other thing is, if this committee could, at the next meeting, take a look at that punch list.
Yeah,
And,
I'll make sure to get that to you.
yeah.
And
so-
kind of coordinate that with your own tour of the facility.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll share.
Because I think there's good information from all of you that can
So-
maybe sharpen that list up a little bit.
So the punch list from 2022, is that what you're talking
There's
about?
the punch list that was handed out last night
Oh,
at
that's,
the BRC.
Oh, that one,
For-
that PDF, okay.
Yeah.
But I can also send you the punch list from the original,
Yeah.
Yeah.
one that Resilient gave us.
yeah, so it's that was from the 2022
Yeah.
project.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's a list that was shared with BRC.
Yeah, and that one I created.
Yeah, that
for
that
the
was a list,
building
but
and maintenance.
there's actually two lists.
Yeah.
One is the actual formal punch list, and the other one was the list you provided last night.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great.
And that PDF I shared with the committee yesterday, I mean, obviously, there are all the vendor, like the specific ones
Yeah.
I just generalized, so if you want to
Yeah.
see those at any time, I'm
Sure.
happy to share those.
More information about it.
Absolutely.
And you said that you hired that company to do the other commissioning or an inspection?
The commissioning, yeah, because it was the same commissioning agent as before, and that's why we wanted to use them, because they had done that study and they were familiar with it. And they were recommended by SNP as the commissioning agents.
I mean, that'd be great, so we'll get, if you can share the punch list from 2022, the BRC list that you have, and then this commissioning agent report, once you get it.
I know we're in good hands, thank you guys.
Yeah,
Much
this is-
appreciated, all of you.
We love to
Great
solve
that you're here
problems, this is
tonight.
great.
And if there's other committees or anyone else you think I should be talking to, I'm happy to, just let me know. Julie knows I'm addicted to meetings, I'm trying to get my face around again so people get to know.
Every
Yeah.
day this week.
Well, I think, I mean, we mentioned quickly this facilities condition assessment, right, that the
Mhm,
town
yeah.
did. I think that is going to, I would suggest that that's really important for you to be in that list.
Yes, please.
And if the town needs to hire the consultant to come back, I mean, they'll basically go through your building and develop your list of things, deficiencies that need to be done, and help you determine when they should be done.
Mhm.
And then that could be used as a roadmap for you, so.
Yeah.
Instead of you trying to figure it out, you
Yeah.
have a consultant that is an HVAC person, an electrical person, structural
Perfect.
person,
Yeah.
and they'll put together that list for
And
you.
then it's memorialized in
Yeah.
the database.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
then there's
that's
costs
what-
associated with it,
yeah.
so now you can start to think, all right, this system needs to be replaced in 5 years, here's the estimated cost.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the town.
And that's what I would love to add to the long-range plan report
Yeah.
at the end of the year, or whatever it's available, so that, again, like you said, it's memorialized.
Yeah.
Clarity, transparency, isn't that what we're all about?
Mhm. Great,
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you all.
Thank
Sorry
you.
for taking so much of your time, but thank you. I appreciate it.
this is the most exciting part of the meeting, I think, right now.
All right. And I always end a meeting with, I hope all of you have your library cards, and if not, I'll see you at the library.
That expired a few years ago.
Oh.
Good job.
You can get a new one.
I know. Actually, I think
Thanks,
I
Julia.
just found it in their
Thank you.
drawer.
Have a great rest of your
Yeah.
week.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, so I think next on the agenda was just updates on the projects. I don't know if Julie, if you could do this. It was the police station, fire substation. Melissa usually does, but she's not here, so I don't know if you guys want to table it or if you.
So
can
we
give
did take up something at the meeting that you were missing. You took some time off after your mom's funeral. At the last select board meeting, we did take up the public safety complex, an aspect of it, so that site work could begin. So we approved, it wasn't that we approved, because it's not a design bid build, right? It's a design build. So we've got some flexibility in the process, but we would like to get to the site work so that we can find out if that's going to cost additional money. So the select board basically gave the approval for that site work to begin, even though it's not finalized in terms of what the building is actually going to be. So that's kind of what we did a week ago Monday.
So I think the last thing we were aware of was that there was still some information coming back from the general contractor regarding the cost differential for what the potential site work piece of it was? I think that was the biggest item, and that was
Yeah,
really the
that's what we're
holdup
trying
for.
to get to the bottom of. So
Yeah.
we want to actually begin that process of site work so that we can find out if there are any surprises and additional costs. Because
Did you get an updated estimate from Ekman for the whole project?
we did not.
Okay, I'm just looking at our notes.
Because they want to maintain the ability to strip out additional pieces if the site work costs more.
Okay,
Well, they should have, I mean, the budget should be built based upon that concept, is that ultimately the list of items should be developed so that,
Yeah, and they are doing that.
right,
I wish Corey was here, because Corey's kind of stepped in.
is he stepped
Oh,
over,
is
yeah,
he?
that's what we
With
said last time.
Dave on leave,
Yeah.
and he's doing a great job. And
Yeah.
he's the one that gave the presentation along with our interim town manager,
Yeah.
Melissa.
oh, I mean, that was open to the public?
It was the select board. meeting.
Yes, the bill was in behind closed doors.
Yeah,
so-
you can watch it.
Yep.
Okay.
You can go to
Alright,
that
so
section
that-
and watch it in a meeting.
Yeah, because we had, in October, it was, you were going to get an updated overall estimate.
Which we did, yeah.
But you were hoping to do an early start site package, which sounds
Yes,
like you've gone
that is
forward.
exactly what happened.
Okay,
A week ago Monday.
okay.
And then also,
Thank you for
Having been-
giving me the words.
No, that's okay, I just, I want our minutes.
and if I
haven't been approved yet.
remember what I watched in Channel 22, you've also authorized Ekman to be your construction manager. For this project.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
Authorized Ekman.
Which has been the plan all along.
Yes.
There was no variance there.
No.
We continued to move along that path.
I mean, not to, I mean, I don't know what the specifics and whether you guys probably don't know, but as far as early site package goes out, but early site package cost overruns are well beyond what you could strip out of the project. So are you committing to doing early site work, or are you just committing to do investigation into early site work?
Site work.
Yeah.
It's a
they're
contract
actually-
for site work.
They're actually
Well,
going
that's-
to move ahead.
That's risky.
Yeah.
Does that
Very
include
risky.
foundations?
Sounds
I
like
don't
that
know. That's why I-
unsuitable soils is what from what I understand is that.
I'm just curious, it must be utilities and,
I think
Just
it's
wanted to-
something that we need to put for the next meeting with whoever's gonna, Melissa.
And we could ask
or Corey.
Melissa and Corey,
Okay.
and or Corey,
Yeah.
one or
Right.
both, to be here.
Yes, I think so.
And I think Corey would be
Yeah.
the person, because he really has stepped in to
Yes.
kind of shepherd this with Dave on leave.
Yeah, I mean, typically, geotechnical work, which would have been done early on, would have given you the engineering that would have designed the foundation and all the support required. And that would have given you a cost estimate with some sort of hedge that would have been associated with that, so that you would pretty much sit there and say, I know I'm within, 1.1 to 1 point, to $2 million for my site development. And
I remember talking about this with Dave, I'm not sure how detailed that geotech was.
I don't think it was detailed at all.
Yeah, I
obviously.
mean, I know that, if I remember right, they did some test pits.
Yeah, they did. That was it, right? We had this discussion before. They
Yeah.
did test pits previously and they were going by the old test pits.
Something, I don't know if they did borings or.
It
It didn't, it didn't sound, yeah, I mean,
So, but,
it just seems very risky. And risky to the project on a longer term scenario, so the reality is that you don't wanna start a project, cost associated, sunk in, and then find out that you don't really have, you're gonna have to stop. There's escalation going on right now, significant escalation in the industry. There's a lot of unknowns. I just think that it'd be good for either Ekman or somebody to give you a much clearer picture before the town goes forward. But
I
that's,
gathered from what I heard, though, there's a lot that's happened between our last meeting in October and what the board approved.
Yeah.
So it could very well be, Rob, that much of that has been covered. And so I think that's why either Melissa or
Corey,
Corey
yeah,
needs
to-
to bring this up to date.
yeah, it's been
Could
6
help us
weeks,
bring this up to
so,
date.
yeah.
I'll let them know after this meeting.
Well, so they're not doing any exploratory work, they're not doing any borings or or anything to make a determination what they've got? They're just gonna go in with a
I'm a little unclear, so
excavator
I
and
should
start
not,
Yeah,
digging?
I should
no, and I
not
think
speak.
that's fair, Dan, and I think that the
Yeah,
reality
yeah,
is you really need to talk to Corey and Melissa to
I
sit there
mean,
and,
there's work been done. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. And, you know, that is.
But they really identified getting a grasp on what the site work's going to cost as the real next step.
Yeah, so what's confusing to me is when you say we've accepted for them to move forward on site work versus the idea that we're still doing, trying to pin down the cost of site work. Those to me are two different,
Well, once you start, if they're doing, my guess is that they're doing utility work and maybe starting some structural foundations on this. And that's pretty much locked in the footprint of the building, right? So what's left of the is.
I think we're just short of information.
I agree, I mean, yeah.
That's- We need to wait, otherwise we're speculating.
Yeah. All right, so progress, there's been some approvals, so that would be good if the next committee meeting that we had can get that information. We can all watch the video too to see if there's more information there, whatever details were included. How about the Parks and Rec building? Any updates on
I
those?
think it's scheduled to open. They're
Okay.
having their,
It is also-
It is, they had a grand opening,
Oh, they did?
Well, there's a ribbon cutting.
ribbon cutting.
It's
Yeah.
coming up in a couple weeks,
yeah,
next week?
Yeah.
can't
What's
recall
next
the
week?
exact date.
Is it moves or?
No, the actual formal ribbon cutting, they're using it now.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I think
Okay.
they've moved, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so the ribbon cutting has not happened, but they opened, they're in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they announced they're opening it.
Okay, all right, I gotcha. Well, I think I actually saw that on the town emails. Okay. Well, it's good, just driving by.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of activity.
It's
Yeah,
great.
it's doing their grand opening on December 8th.
Great.
Did you say December 8th?
Mm-hmm.
At 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 to
Yeah.
6.
4 to 6 on December.
Okay. Anything else on the Parks and Rec building? Okay. This has been on the agenda, it still is just a continued discussion about the space needs assessment. Any update from you guys on the budget process? Is there anything, because we're hoping to use the 100,000, or part of the 100,000 that's in the maintenance.
As far as I know,
So-
that's still the plan.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if additional funds are coming.
No,
but-
it was going to be, Steve Cronin is interested in the plan and he wants us to do it and get it done.
Yeah.
And so he proposed that using part of the maintenance, that $100,000 of the maintenance budget is, we put towards this, as we estimated it, 50,000. So
Mm.
that's still the plan as far as I know.
Oh, good, okay. I mean, I don't know if we want to get into some of the details. I think we have time, we have plenty of time actually to do the RFP process.
Speaking just for my perhaps only, because we have a couple of meetings here, where do we leave it back? We were
Yeah.
preparing a draft scope of work, and I don't know if we finalized that, because we knew that it was going to be some time before we'd actually have to send out an RFP, but I've lost track of where we are.
Yeah, I mean, if I can go back to a couple of.
We have a draft, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think we have anything that's been completed yet, and I think would be good for us to set a timeline when we want to have something out, or at least started that draft point, you know, or get it out to everybody. Do we want to, beginning of the year, have something available to start to ferret through?
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to find, we were referring to it as an outline,
Yeah,
and trying to have those topics covered. So if, I can send that out again. It's been a couple months for sure. So let me just make a note here. Do I share that again?
also, on our timeline, I don't think we were looking for a CIP in this particular budget process.
Right.
It was going to be a year away, and that's why we had, in my mind, we had time to flesh out this RFP and get it ready.
Well, I think what we were just talking about was the fact that the intent is that part of the $100,000 budget for maintenance budget would be potentially used for this
Yeah.
particular, to start this process, to go through do the needs assessment. So that was the budgetary thing. So we wouldn't be going into 2026, 2027 budget ask for capital, but we'd be using that.
But I don't think there's anything in this year's CIP.
It's very tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the warrant, as it's starting to take shape, and we've just gone through the recommendation
Yeah.
process with the BRC. Now it moves to the select board, but, typically the select board is loath
Right.
to monkey with it too much. There are very few projects going on the warrant because of the large increase
Right.
in the budget.
But we don't need to worry about that because we're gonna be able to get this under your operating budget.
Right, that's,
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
that's the
so,
that's the clarity.
yeah, so, I mean, which, it gets approved in March.
I've missed a few meetings, so I had not heard that.
Yeah.
That's new to me.
No, that was something Melissa and Steve Cronin worked on. Steve offered to do this, and he's
Yeah.
excited to hear about the space needs assessment and.
Yeah, I had not heard that.
Yeah.
Or if I had, I don't
You
recall
can.
hearing.
So,
Can we still spend the money without town meeting approval?
Well, that's how we're trying to, that's what we're trying to do. We
Right.
have annually $100,000 that's not for the Public Works Department maintenance.
Yep.
And
I
so they don't
understand that.
specify what projects they're gonna work on during the year, unless it becomes a capital project. But it's really just for, work that the maintenance guys can do when we have a full department. So the Director of Public Works offered to use some of that money for this space needs study.
Great,
So-
so we're not under any town meeting deadline commitments?
Well, the only deadline is if we don't spend it this year, or in 2026.
Correct.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's but it's, there's 100,000 every year in the budget. So say that in March, the budget does not get approved, you guys go back to last year's budget plus something, right?
Still, no, probably minus something.
Oh, well,
Plus or
whatever
minus,
contractual
yeah.
stuff, like
Yeah.
there's the debt stuff, but
Yeah.
that means the 100,000 would still
Right.
be there.
Right.
So I think it's, we
safe.
we don't have to wait for March
Right,
to
Right.
do this, right? We could get something
Right,
this right
and
now.
that's what I was thinking, is getting something
Yeah.
in the book so that you can actually start in the spring to begin to sit there and say, we've got a framework for this, we can let department people know this is in the queue, because that's a big thing we were
Right.
talking about, which is making sure that departments are ready and can participate in this, and
And, yeah, and also not to jump and grab empty space before we're
Yep.
able to analyze this, right, with the Parks and Rec building being
So
empty.
that cycles us back to the question is, we have a draft or an outline.
Yeah,
We need to smooth that up so that we can actually be in a position to get an RFP out.
yeah.
And we need to move out of the workshop phase and then
Yeah.
get more of a
Yeah.
finished phase.
so we definitely, so it was in July was when I think the last draft outline, so I can send that back out.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful.
And, but who from the town, that Dave is out, who from the town would take this on to send out the RFP and do that process?
it's, it would be a combination, I think, of people. I mean, Barb McAvoy could do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't really know the answer to that
Yeah.
question. With Dave on, out,
His work's been spread around to several
Yeah.
people, so.
so it's been a
Corey's
little
done
bit.
some.
So that's a good question, and maybe Julie and I can follow up with the town manager and the select board chair.
Okay.
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Mark, I was just gonna ask, can we get kind of an outline of, because I'm new, of what's gonna be required if we were to say, get you the rough draft by the first of the year? Would 30 days be enough to get through whatever town vetting needed to happen to be able to release it for bids or proposals on the 1st of February?
Yeah, I think part of the answer that we're going to try to develop is in terms of timing as well. Not just who's responsible for it, but in terms of timing, so.
Right, so.
It's a good question. I don't have the answer. Do you, Julie?
Timing wise?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it should take somebody to approve it, I guess, and somebody to create the RFP
Right.
Yeah.
after we're done. I'm thinking we should be able to have it by the first of the year. Am I wrong in that?
Well, when we talked, why we started with just an outline, because Dave at the time would take that and develop the RFP. And then we would give him the structure, and then he would take it into your RFP forms, and he would send it out.
Yeah.
Same process that we did on the FCA stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why we just kind of said, we'll just give the outline, and that way that he would fill in. So, I mean, we could probably take on more of developing the RFP, but I mean, you guys have a template, you have your process, and so I guess that's what.
Steve Cronin too, because he's giving us the money for it.
Yeah, he's got a lot going
I
on.
know.
Yeah.
Let us try to get an answer
Everybody
for
does.
Yeah.
next month.
And I think
It's fine.
tactically, it would probably make more sense to do it after the town vote. I mean, that's after the March vote, but that's what I would.
Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking of the timing, because you're gonna have an empty building over here.
Right, no, but if,
Yeah.
say, if you had it ready and were literally ready for it to go out in mid-March, then
Yeah,
you could have, the RFP could go out, get people going, and then, like you said, is the building, it's
So
a
that-
couple of months
I
is.
think that brings us back to Tim, if we could have something, he said the first year, knowing how long these things take, I'm thinking more like in February.
Right.
yeah,
And there is a possibility that we could craft more than an outline ourselves.
Yeah.
And if you remember, I found one that I sent to you.
yep.
It was done here in state, I forget exactly where I found it.
Concord, I believe.
Concord or Salem, yeah. it was
Yeah.
like that.
I'm actually just looking for it right now to see
Yeah,
if I can pull it
so
up.
that was a much more elaborate one, but it had, I think it had all the ingredients
Right.
in it.
You
That
did,
if we could wordsmith it down,
yep.
cut it, print, paste it, we could probably get an outline together, more than an outline, a draft together.
Yeah.
That we then could share with whoever in the
Yeah.
town says, yeah,
Is
I have
taking
to add a few
the-
local things to this, but it's ready to go.
Right, and I think we also have the one which we did for the facilities conditions assessment,
Yes.
which we could basically use as the,
Okay.
you know, the template, right,
Yeah.
for helping
Well-
whoever is gonna, you know, issue this thing to be able to sit there and say, hey, I only have to, you know, I can boil it down some more, and I don't need to really reinvent the entire wheel.
Well, do we want to, so, just so that we can keep the process going, we're into the holiday season, I mean, do we want to target a draft RFP in by the end of January?
Yeah.
I mean,
Sounds
is that a
reasonable.
fair, and then you guys can continue, I mean, if whoever's on the town side,
We'll try to identify the lead
yeah,
person.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's
we'll,
gonna work with this
I
committee.
think that's reasonable, we could do that.
so if we do that, and then we can hand it over to whoever it is, and whatever happens, you guys can take it and put it in your own template, but we can use the one from Concord, we can use the one from the FCA, and we can develop that so that you guys
Yeah,
can.
and I'm not sure what Dave's timeline is for coming back, so we can try to find that out as well.
All right, so.
But when he comes back, obviously, he's gonna be swamped, so.
So for here, tonight, is, Mark, you're gonna send us the draft
Yep.
again, refresh our minds. And we can all look at the Concord one or the FCA one that you did. And I think there's some integration there that we can come up with one
Yep.
by the end of January.
Yeah,
So if we take our December meeting and really focus on
Yes,
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
yeah, we gotta talk about that, because right now we're scheduled to meet on December 24th.
I'm all for that.
Bring your presents, wrap them all.
Yeah, I think that sounds great, because I think we should try to, you know, it's great to have a timeline, and that we can hold ourselves accountable to.
I think that end of January timeline.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
And maybe what we could do is, so let's talk about the meeting. So we're scheduled for the 24th. So a couple suggestions, we could move that up and meet in mid-December, or we could try to meet twice in January, especially if we're doing more of a work session, or we can do both.
Yeah, let's do that. And that would be my preference.
Twice in January.
Yeah.
yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Just December is tough for me personally.
Yeah, that's exactly,
The retail stuff,
and Thanksgiving, it's pretty quick between Thanksgiving and December, so.
it goes fast.
Next week in
Yeah, I know, right? Thanksgiving's a little late.
So what were you thinking in terms of January dates?
Good question. Does anybody want to throw one out there?
So the Wednesdays in January are the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th.
The 21st, there are two meetings. Oh, there's another meeting, the tax exemption committee meets at 6:30. So we have a brief meeting. That's on the 21st.
You're saying which one is the 21st?
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything.
What if we met on the 7th?
7th,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was just gonna
that's
say,
what I was
that's a
thinking,
good, let's
7th.
do it early.
And I don't know what room's available, because there are other meetings happening. that-
Yeah, I'll check with Pam. I'll send her an email then.
The 7th and then say the 21st or
Wait,
the 28th?
Julie, you said there are meetings happening on the
Just
21st?
the, well, as far as I know, just the, for me anyway, the tax exemption one, but let me, schedule.
I can look up, you looking online?
Yeah.
So we're meeting on the 7th.
7th is clear.
That sounds good.
And then what was the other date?
Either the 21st or the 28th.
The 28th we're probably already scheduled for.
We are.
Yeah,
So should we just keep that?
Yeah.
Keep it,
yep,
yeah,
yep.
Okay, so additional one.
7th and 28th.
So we're gonna skip December.
Doesn't mean we can't do work, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right, it's true.
All right, so on my calendar, I have the 7th and the 28th at 5:30.
Yep, 7th and 20th. And I'll send this out, and so, it's great.
I think that's a good plan.
I had a note, so I guess, so we're several meetings, so I guess I think we're good on the space needs assessment, then next one is new business. Last time we met, Chris had talked about the FCA, and we talked about maybe having an updated presentation.
Yep.
I don't know, so it sounds like we're probably busy in January.
All right, should do that in February.
Ask for February, so maybe that's, I mean, that might be a good, because then we can see how Steve and his team are doing with the FCA, and maybe the library could be part of that, so.
That's a great idea.
All right, so,
And then we're, in February, we're past budget hearing and deliberative, so,
It's our slow month.
yeah, waiting for the vote.
all right, so an update on the FCA in February. Okay. All right, that was kind of new business. We'll go around the table, so.
Nope, nothing here. Thank you.
We'll be, the State House will be finalizing the names of House bills and things to start working on in January. I know there's something about private-public financing of housing for a particular group of people. And we had talked about that or I talked about it anyway to myself maybe, at 32 Court Street or 34, which, making that housing for town employees.
Oh,
But, so I'll see what the budget or bill says and.
So I could get that into the
Yeah.
facilities
Interesting.
assessment.
yeah, so space needs assessment, that would be an interesting part of that discussion, if that's a good use for that.
As long as I keep the front.
Yeah. Well, you got parking,
Well,
and you got space maybe to expand there, so, because with the parking there. Yeah, oh, cool. Thinking outside the box, that's nice.
Trying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And where's that money coming from?
Well, that's the state, of course.
And the state's money coming
Federal
from?
government,
Property
no.
tax,
State, no.
Where's the money coming from the state?
Oh,
Oh, dividends and interest, dividend and interest tax, that's right.
Right.
Nope, oh, we got rid of
Not
that.
so much.
Sorry.
Don't get me started.
Is there any update on the town hall? On any?
Not yet, we have it listed in the CIP, so people know it's coming.
Okay,
But
But
we
not for
haven't done
next
any
year.
further work.
This was not the year to push it.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not for 26, not for 2026,
Oh, no.
yeah,
I-
but it's on there.
Yeah, probably at least.
26
thereabouts.
is really
Yeah.
bare bones.
And we haven't had any consultation for the HVC, we just have the schematics that you've seen.
Yeah.
But we haven't talked to anybody about lighting and sound, and that's a big part of it too. And so we wanted to get some kind of numbers for that before we actually put that number or something quite larger in CIP.
Okay.
And there are lots of grants available, at least there were.
Okay, Tim?
All
Anything new?
set, thank you.
Yeah.
Nothing from me.
Alan?
I am good.
Rob?
I'm good.
Okay. I guess I have to have a motion to adjourn, right? Is that what-
So moved.
Second.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.